that very fact of existence is a form of suffering, then you would have gained a deep insight into the nature of suffering, which we were speaking about earlier. And then, once you have gained that kind of insight into the nature of suffering in relation to your own existence, then you can extend that perception, that understanding onto other sentient beings, and then cultivate compassion towards other sentient beings by relating to their suffering.
这是方面我给那主要的这是我说了，那他刚都没进来，生产在哪里啊？这是方面我给的，再来呀，然后就是对美国的老张牙说的，啊，那一点生产他是让给马德鲁，然后就让给年长，这个马的菜吧，他的这些吧，些吧多，就这上面，那这个方面，这是方面我主要接受的。但来呀，这个给我们这就是的，那他们出去了也有了。但是嘛，他是和他对对我讲到现实里面，大甚至我那经济里面的更多原则上，让经济里跟现实这个原则，那第三，这个话的话，他我讲的他都能让个现你个台湾的不错，东北的不错，让现你个东北西呀，这个台湾主要土壤也不错，国会的做过这个让啥，到了不土壤也让的是个让的了呀，东北的路就是在这中国城的路这路是这个的问题，能行。南边台就是说这个就来，看这些你会特别的，用看到看到有，用爬上这他们叫也不懂这个。Ja.
Get rolling. Get up to speed, man. Just shoot it all the way. Where are these guys at? We can probably make a few words. Here it comes right now. Just keep rolling.
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you again.
Oh.
You're very lucky, yeah? You're very lucky, yeah? Wow. Good. Hi, we're at the Dalai Lama's afternoon lecture with Olanda Ananda. Could you tell me, what was your impression of the Dalai Lama today?
Yes, as usual, a very good impression, full of humor, kindness and wit, and giving lots of good instructions and, in a very humorous way.
Now, are you a practicing Tibetan Buddhist?
Well, I was ordained in the Theravadan order. That's why I'm wearing these orange robes and not the maroon Tibetan robe. But I feel a lot for Tibetan Buddhism and for Tibet. and I'm very often in the peripheral areas around Tibet, like Ladakh and Nepal, Sikkim, Darjeeling. So I do like to learn a lot about Tibetan Buddhism, yes.
And what is the difference between the two Buddhisms?
Yes, well, Sri Lankan Buddhism belongs to the Theravadan school, which you sometimes call the Southern School of Buddhism, or Hinayana, the small vehicle, or the modest vehicle as it is called in the brochures here. And that is supposed to be, based on the Pali canon, the oldest scriptures, we could say, whereas the Tibetan Buddhism, Vajrayana, or the diamond vehicle, belonging to the Mahayana school, the great vehicle, emphasizes more on the bodhisattva ideal, of helping others to achieve, relief from suffering and maybe enlightenment, while striving after one's own enlightenment.
Today, the Dalai Lama's lecture or teaching seemed less political than when I've seen him in the past. Did you get that same impression?
Oh, well, this is a teaching, explaining certain points, the 7 points that he mentioned. So he kept very strictly to his topic, I suppose.
Well, thank you very much for talking about it.
Yes, okay, good luck.
I did a program some years ago, or a movie about Buddha in Thailand, and the women there were segregated from the men. They had to wear white outfits, and the men were. Is it true? I mean, is it the same with Tibetan Buddhism?
No. Within Tibetan Buddhism, women are just as equal as males. Within the Bodhisattva path, a woman can have the same achievements and realizations of a male. I think within cultural situations, there has been in the past maybe some difficulty for women, and I think for the refugee community, the Tibetan refugees, for some nuns it's still a little bit difficult to raise money to improve their living and education situation, but it is improving. But as a Westerner, there's no discrimination whatsoever.
Now today was a teaching and really not a speech about freedom. How did you think what was your impression? Sorry.
I always find the words of His Holiness very relevant, especially to the Western mind, and I have heard these teachings in the past, and I always find it very refreshing, very inspiring, and I think rejuvenating.
What brought you to Tibetan Buddhism?
Oh, I guess probably, like most people, a dissatisfaction with my life and a search for some meaning. And I looked at some different spiritual traditions, but felt very connected to Tibetan Buddhism. And especially I was drawn by the practitioners who seemed to exude compassion and love and seemed very, very happy. And I wanted some of that.
And you say you've been doing it now for 9 years, I think you said.
I've been a nun for 9 years.
A nun for 9 years. And what exactly is a nun?
Okay, a nun is very similar to the Christian tradition in that I live by a code of ethics. I will not marry, I have taken vows of celibacy, and I am now leading a contemplative life, so to speak. I teach and see people.
And so within the context of do you call it an order? Or
yeah, it's on the Christian terminology. Sometimes we get a little bit
seems
caught
a little
up
different. Is there a group in Amsterdam of nuns of Tibetan Buddhism?
No, there's not. I'm the only Tibetan Buddhist nun within my tradition. There is also one other nun that lives in Amsterdam. There's some nuns that live at Emst, which is out near Apeldoorn and Zwolle. But I live in a Buddhist centre in Amsterdam, in Brouwersgracht. And we have classes there, meditation classes and classes on Buddhist philosophy and really just practical ways to help improve our lives.
Now, have you met the Dalai Lama personally?
Yep.
And what was your impression when you did?
Oh, pretty well blew my mind. Yeah, he's the one thing I've always felt about His Holiness is that I could take him home to my mother and he would be able to sit at the kitchen table and have a cup of tea and everyone would be completely comfortable. His Holiness does not come across as somebody superior. He comes across as somebody that is like your best friend, your father, all rolled into one. And it's not frightening, it's not intimidating. His warmth, his compassion just radiates so much you can't help but be caught up with it.
I notice you have a little bit of hair.
Yeah.
Is that allowed in the nunnery?
It's okay. I'm a city nun. The idea is that you keep your hair short. And certainly in some situations it's better to keep it shaved. But I'm living in the city, so it's okay.
Well, thank you very much for talking with us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Okay.
PC-dump, in de rij. Om 10 uur, 1 uur en 4 uur. Kleurnet is multicultureel. Maar eigenlijk noemen we ons kleurrijk. Want de ouderen hebben bij Kleurnet ook een plek. Goed Grijs bijvoorbeeld op dinsdagavond. En niet alleen mensen met een etnische achtergrond, maar ook bijvoorbeeld de homoseksuele medeburgers krijgen bij ons de ruimte. Kleurnet. Kleurrijk voor Amsterdam, Zaandam en omgeving. Iedere dag op dit kanaal. En